Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and welcome to another episode of What Version is Better. Yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, but I thought, since I have an idea for one, I'll do another one. And in this episode, I'm gonna take a look at the classic album Sad Wings of Destiny by Judas Priest. Of course, I'm gonna be comparing the original 1976 pressing to the most recent re-release and remaster, which also was a Record Store Day release. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm just going to get right into it. So, first thing out of the major three, let's talk about the production. So I love the production on this one. Now, the production on the original is very raw, but also very, I don't know how to just describe it other than spacey. Like, it's very spacey. Like, it has a lot of, like, atmosphere to it. It has a lot of, like, I wouldn't want to say weight. That's not the correct word I'm trying to find for it. It has a sort of a airiness, I guess. Sort of a very, very spacey airiness. It's very raw. It's sort of like, it just has a very unique flair to it that even I can't really totally 100% accurately describe just the overall uniqueness of the sound of the production on this album. It has just a very unique atmosphere and production sound. Yeah, so, this one, very good production, and yeah, I guess some people might say it's too weird sounding, but I like it. Now, compare that to the most recent re-release / remaster, again, and also / Record Store Day exclusive. The production right away on here, from the very first few opening notes of Victim of Changes, is very, very different. The production on here is light years apart, and light years different. Of course, it's remastered, but the production on here is very neat, very clean, very tight, and kind of even compressed sounding at times. Like, it's a very cleaned up, sort of, I guess, in a way, typical remaster sound. But even then, even though it does, obviously sound remastered, it also sounds like somehow they took away some of that unique atmosphere feel to it. The overall sound is there, but the thing that is missing, I guess, again, kind of like the rawness, but the main thing I really noticed is the airy, spacey kind of feel, like the moody sort of weird aura that that's on the production sound of the original is missing. And I guess that, again, that's due to how it's remastered. Again, it's very, compressed sounding, very tight, tightly done, very, it's very refined, I guess you could say. It's very refined compared to the original sound. Now, do I think it's bad, per se? No, I don't think it's bad. With this, I guess it just comes down to personal preference of sound. On a technical level, yeah, this sounds good, just as much as the original, but for me personally, I do prefer the more raw spaciness and just very interesting atmosphere that's on the original release. The production on here is, again, I prefer this one. But like I said, the production on the newer one is not bad, just personal preference. Next up is artwork. Now, the artwork is also vastly different. Now, not necessarily the actual artwork, but especially on the front cover, the shading is night and day, almost literally. So, of course, classic artwork. You got the fallen angel, which I guess is supposed to be Lucifer's sort of descent into hell. And, you get the, of course, the iconic Judas Priest trident symbol that's on his necklace there, which would later, of course, become the main symbol. And of course, on the newer versions of the logo, it would be added to the. Oh no, it wouldn't be added. It would be replaced as the T. Like older stuff, the T is there, but the trident would be the T later on. Yeah, very iconic artwork. Very, very. I guess you could kind of compare it to the style of a traditional oil painting. It very much looks like that, and just the cool sort of like shading. Now, the shading is very not subtle. What would I describe? It's very I mean, I guess you could use the word subtle, but it's very well placed. It highlights, the textures very, very well. And of course, you got the classic early Judas Priest logo with the sort of like cursive / medieval font look. Which, out of all their 70s stuff, I do really love this logo. Now, Rock'n'Rolla had a very weird logo. Like, it was very small, and it was like just plain white words, but it was like very small and like very generic looking font. But yeah, I really like this font. Now, not as much as the classic 80s and 90s font, but I do really, really like it. And it's sort of in a bright yellow. Oh, I didn't notice this. I just realized this. I don't know how I never realized it before, but looking at the logo again, now this isn't in the later version of the logo, but I just realized that the little like squiggle at the bottom is actually a devil tail. Like, you could barely see it because of how small it is, but that ends in like a devil tail, like the little point and stuff. That's a devil tail. I don't know how I never noticed that until really looking at the logo right now, but yeah, that's really cool. Kind of reminds me of like the Possessed logo or the Mantis logo. Now, going back to this one, again, literally night and day. Same artwork, but it's so much darker. Like, the colors are so shaded in. Now, it looks cool, I guess, but, I don't know. I think, now, the thing about this is that I'm torn on it. The reason why is because overall, I think it looks cool, but at the same time, I think they kind of went a little bit overboard with the shading. Like, I think they went a little bit overboard with how, like, just dark the shading is. Like, it looks like they just literally, like, went into Photoshop or something, Google Photoshop or whatever, and just, like, turned down the brightness or something. Like, again, it's not bad, but I do think they went a little bit overboard in how, like, literally dark they made the shading on here. I mean, even the logo is definitely a lot, like, darker shaded than the yellow on the original one. Now, the issue I have with this version, in terms of the actual overall artwork, is the back, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. Before that, I just want to mention the fact that it is a gatefold. So keep that in mind later on, because I do have a complaint with the inner part. Anyway. So production, I give to the original. The first of 3 points. Artwork, again, kind of a more personal preference, just like the production. But again, personal preference, and I give the second point to the original. Now for the overall presentation and packaging. Oh, forgot that I took this out of the sleeve. Hold on, let me put this back in really quick. Oh. Alright. Alright, so overall packaging and presentation. Here's the original, right? Everyone knows the what was I going to say? Oh yeah, everyone knows the classic artwork. I'm not going to get too much into the front because I just went over it like in length, but that. And the back is really cool. I love the back almost as much as the front. So the back, of course, has a white version of the logo and smaller, but it also has these really cool images of the band members from, I believe, this doesn't look in studio, honestly. This looks live, but I can't tell for sure, but yeah, the lighting is super cool, and I think that's what makes it so awesome. Look at the lighting here. You got all these really cool neon reds and yellows and even greens lighting up the band members, and it looks just so surreal and very cool and kind of eerie as well. And then, of course, you get Alan Moore, which, just side note, very quick side note, Alan Moore is one of the most underrated Judas Priest drummers. Anyway, back to it. So, you get the names of the band members, but something very interesting. Rob Halford is credited here as Robert Halford instead of Rob Halford. And I believe on the next album over, he was also credited as Robert Halford as well. And then, of course, you get the classic, if you're talking about the original, you got the Gull Records logo there, their original record company, yeah, so that's the almost forgot, the track listing. Now, with the original, the track listing is not correct. They have, so, this top thing that looks like it's side A or side 1 is not correct. The bottom is side A/side 1, and the top is side B/side 2. Yeah, for some reason with the original pressing, the order in the different sides of the record are flipped. Yeah, so overall presentation, very, very good. As far as the actual inner area goes, unfortunately there's no lyric pamphlet thingy. There's no lyric sheet or anything, which I believe that's with most of the Judas Priest original 70s stuff. I don't think they even had lyric sheets in their albums until British Steel, maybe. Now, as for the actual sleeve, it's just your standard white sleeve, just standard black vinyl. Now, overall packaging and presentation with this one. Like I said, with the artwork on the front. But then you get the back, which I have a bigger problem with. It is so dark. They've darkened it up so much you can't even see the track listing on here. And yes, it's there. It is there. You can kind of see it because of the oh, I almost forgot, it's the embossed version. So the artwork is a little bit more raised up. Has a little bit more texture to it. Now on the back, like I said, you could kind of see the track listing very, very faintly with the embossment on there. As you can see the reflection, you can kind of see the track listing, but the issue is, like I said, way too dark, and they have the track listing and the exact same shade as the back artwork, the brown. It's the exact same shading, the exact same color, so you can't even see it. Like, even looking at it right here, right in front of my face, you still have to really, like, get it in a very... You literally have to look at the shine, the reflective shine on the back. Like, you have to hold it up to the actual, like a lamp or something. Like, if you look at it far away, like, certain angles you can see it, but also in certain angles you can't. So it's just a very stupid design. But that's the back. Now, like I said before, the inner part I have a problem with, mainly due to the fact that you would think for like a gatefold, like an anniversary edition or whatever this is supposed to be, you would think there would be like lyrics, because there's no lyrics with the original vinyl. So you thought, okay, they have this anniversary / record store day release. Oh, they might put the lyrics in the main section of the gatefold, but no. They have the band members here, and then the band member credits, and that's literally it. Everything else is just sort of wasted space. Oh, I dropped the plastic sleeve. I'll pick it up in just a second. But yeah, everything else here is wasted space, honestly. And now for another issue I have with this one. Why did it need to be a double vinyl? Now, I get they wanted to make it 45 RPM instead of 33, which is the original version and like every other re-release in terms of the vinyl. But honestly, there was no need to. Like, there was no need to make it 45 RPM. They just did it just because they could do it. Also, because of that, because it's a slower speed, they formatted the track listing weirdly on here. Like, with the track listing of the original, you got, like, hold on. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs in the first half. No, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 songs in the first half, 5 songs in the second half. But, like I said, because of the way they formatted this version, the 45 RPM, they had to space it out. Like, even if it wasn't 45 RPM, I don't think they had to space it out. But they spaced it out because I wanted it to be two vinyl when it didn't need to be, because the just the amount didn't justify it to be 2 vinyl. Like, side A is literally 2 songs, Victim of Changes and The Ripper. Side B is literally 2 songs, Dreamer, Deceiver, and Deceiver. Side C is 3 songs, and side D is 2 songs. So it was unnecessary for them to make it 2 vinyl. And it was even more unnecessary that, like, because here's the thing. They had some opportunity to make it 2 vinyl for a reason. Like, just imagine if they added some bonus tracks, or what about even rehearsal versions? Like, what if they added, like, rehearsal recordings of this album, like, early rehearsal tracks? That would have been cool. That would have been, like, a really good reason to, have the, track listing the way it is on this version. Like, it would justify why everything's so spread out. But it's not. There's no bonus tracks, so there's no reason why everything should be so spread out like it is. Yeah, I mean, it's very unnecessary, honestly. So, overall, my overall thoughts. Well, of course, I do prefer the original version, mainly because I think it's a near flawless album. Like, yeah, sure, I don't like the last three songs, but honestly, everything else about Sad Wings of Destiny, the original '76 version, I really love that album. This version does have a lot of problems, and it does have a lot of problems that were unnecessarily given to it just because they thought, just because, oh, we can do this, we did this just to do this. Like I said, the artwork will still really good. I think they went overboard on the darkness on this one. So much so that you can't see the track listing on the back. Like I said, the inside, very disappointing, and it was spread out for no reason, and there was no track listing. So overall, like I said, I do prefer the original version. Now, do I recommend this version? Only if you're a really diehard collector. I mean, it's a kind of unnecessary re-release. Just given how many things they could have done with this album, but done with this particular re-release, but didn't. Honestly, I think it's one of the most disappointing Judas Priest re-releases of their classic albums. Like I said, so much missed opportunity and so much unnecessary changes to the basically everything overall. But yeah. Oh, hold on. There we go. Alright, so that really ends the episode for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.